What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jarrell coming to you from Colossal Boxing Talk today with a special guest, heavyweight contender Amir Mansour. I'm gonna interview him, ask him a few questions, get his thoughts on the heavyweight division as well as his future and what does he have planned next. First off, I want to thank you again, for joining me this evening. And would you like to say anything before I get to started with the questions?
No, man, I appreciate Colossal Boxing, man, for, being interested in what I have to say, man. So, big ups to y'all, man.
All right, thank you. My first question is, have you been in the gym and, since you lost to Stephen Cunningham, which was a terrific fight, that was a close affair that just came down to, some knockdowns and, things like that. Have you been in the gym hard since that fight happened?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I've been working on some things that I wish I would have worked on, prior to that fight, you know what I mean? But, at the same time, it is what it is, and, you take your licking and keep on ticking, man,
What?
So, of course, I've been in the gym since then, of course.
What do you think went wrong in that fight? Because, I watched that fight closely, and I had you winning the fight up into the later rounds. I guess I don't know, what went wrong. You might have got tired or whatnot, but I know he got you with a couple of shots that sent you down. I think it's probably what do you think was the reason for those knockdowns that you suffered against him?
Well, it was one. It was a slight knockdown. I mean, if you want to call it a knockdown, in the 10th round where my gloves touched the ground. And that knockdown, he called it a knockdown. But if you look at the fight, that same round, I dropped him with a straight left. He landed flat on his back, and the ref called it a slip. But he called mine, just because one of my gloves touched the ground, he called it a knockdown. And so, that was the only knockdown on my behalf, throughout the whole entire fight. He touched the canvas several times.
Yeah, I definitely know. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I definitely know the punch you're talking about. I was shocked that the ref didn't call it a knockdown because it was clearly a knockdown, and that probably was a crucial moment in the fight that could have played a big part in whether him getting a victory and you getting a defeat. So that was definitely a tough situation.
Yeah. Well, one thing I'm gonna answer your question. What went wrong in the fight is, first I'll tell you what my game plan was.
Okay.
My game plan was to press him at a fast pace until he folded. And we predicted that we would stop him in the 5th or 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
In the 5th round, I dropped him twice, as you know. Both times he was down past 10 seconds. Now, this is what went wrong in the fight. How can you prepare your fighter to fight a person that's in the National Guard with the referee, and that the referee allows to get up not once past 10 seconds, but twice? It's hard to prepare for something like that, as a fighter. And then, too, I take blame myself because although my game plan worked, and any other referee, that wasn't buddy there with him like that would have stopped the fight. The fight was over. But I blame myself as well because I didn't have an efficient plan B,
Mm-hmm.
And I did exhaust a lot of energy. But from the 6th round on forward, I still threw more punches. I never stopped punching. I still connected, more punches than him throughout the round. And, I'm going to be honest, I personally feel as though I still should have gotten the decision, especially that frivolous knockdown in the 10th round. If his knockdown was legit, and I watched it, and I said, you know what, rules are rules. He did hit me. I went off balance. I tried to catch my balance. My glove hit the ground. That's considered a knockdown by the rules.
Yeah.
But the rules are also if I punch you, and as a result of that punch, you hit the canvas, that's the knockdown. And he called it a slip. So, What really went wrong in that fight is that I didn't train to fight the referee in Steve. I trained to fight Steve. And there's no disrespect to Steve as a fighter. He got up off that canvas. Referee gave him a break. Hey, if I ever get knocked down, knocked out like that, I hope and pray that the referee gives me that type of break. He got up, took advantage of the break that the referee gave him, and he continued, to run the whole fight, but he fought real good, backing up. You know what I'm saying? And I lost my composure.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't necessarily, when you run out of gas, you stop punching, you stop chasing your guy.
Mm-hmm.
He starts chasing you, he ends up stopping you. That's when you run out of gas. I didn't run out of gas. I chased him the whole entire fight. I never stopped letting my hands go. I punched to the bell ring in the 10th round,
Mm-hmm.
I lost my composure, and I started swinging for the fences, looking for that knockout again, and I was angry because by that time I knew what the referee was up to. I was angry, you know what I mean? I was real discouraged, and, I lost my composure. That's where I went wrong at in that fight. I just completely lost my composure. Had I just kept my composure, it would have been no way in the world they could have, gave him the decision. But I lost my composure and I opened the door for those judges and the referee to swing the fight his way. So, it was a lesson learned, man.
All right. Would you like a rematch with Steve Cunningham? Because, like I said, the first fight was a very electric fight, and it was a close competitive fight, throughout the way. And, I think fans wouldn't mind seeing a rematch between you two guys.
Man, listen, man. I have the venue, I have the promoters that would love to put on that rematch. But both sides have to agree.
Has Steve
He has to want the rematch. I have to want the rematch. I certainly want it. I've been screaming for it from day one. Anybody would want to see that rematch. I don't think we should deprive the boxing fans of that rematch, but, he wants to direct his career after that in another direction. He's not looking for the rematch. You know what I'm saying? So I can't sit there stuck on stupid, begging this man to fight me again. I got to move forward and go ahead and seek out another victim.
Yeah, that definitely. I'm shocked because he's normally, willing to, face, fight anybody. But, I know he got, some personal issues with his little daughter going on. So maybe that's, holding him up. But,
yeah.
Who would you like to fight next? Because I threw out after the fight had happened that maybe you and Chris Arreola could get it on because you guys are both big punchers and exciting fighters,
Right.
And that'll be a great fan friendly fight for the fight fans. So is that something you're looking at, or is there another fighter you're looking at potentially facing down the line?
Man, this is what I tell my people: if they in the top 10 and you can make it happen, make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
See, one thing about me and the reason why I was able to rise so quickly is I didn't want to fight nobody with a lesser ranking than me.
Yeah.
So I'm not into fighting bums like, Deontay Wilder.
Oh,
Big, tall killer. He looks like a killer,
mm-hmm.
but we know he's not no killer. He just fought a guy that I stopped in one round, but yet he's on the internet saying he'll whoop my butt.
Yeah.
Why won't you fight me? You got enough juice with Golden Boy that you can say, no, I want Amir Mansour for my next opponent. And you can best believe Golden Boy will say, okay, we'll give it to you. Because Amir would love to get it. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys out there, one guy, he's a decent friend of mine, so I'm not going to mention his name. He said my name came across the list of fighters.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, nah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying he's afraid of me or anything. Deontay is afraid of me, though. But my point is this. We're not fighting each other the way that Holyfield and Bo and Tyson and Ruddock and Leonard, we're not fighting each other the way that these fighters in the 80s, all the top 10 heavyweights were fighting each other in the 80s. If you wanted to be in the top 5, you had to go and fight the top 10. You understand?
Yeah.
If you wanted to be in the top 3, you had to fight the top 5. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to be number 1, you had to fight number 2. But now, you got these companies, man, and they're allowing a lot of these fighters to duck and pick and choose who they want to fight. And the sanctioning bodies, you know, are going with the promoters, you know what I'm saying, with the TV and the money, you know.
Yeah.
So they ranking whoever they tell them to rank, you know what I'm saying, and people not being ranked anymore by their talent and by their skill. They're being ranked by whose promoter got the most juice. So you're not seeing those good heavyweight fights that me and Steve put on. You know what I mean? Win, lose, or draw, I don't care because I know what it did for the heavyweight division. Now just imagine if we could get 4 or 5 or 6 Amir, Mansour, and Steve Cunningham heavyweight fights every year. The heavyweight division will be back on the map.
Yeah, I definitely.
Now, guys, to duck each other, man. That's why the heavyweight division is in the situation it's in now.
I definitely.
And one of the fighters that I agree on record, in the public, on TV, wherever, I will fight anybody in the top 10. Anybody.
I definitely agree. You know, heavyweight division has been down for so long now, and we thought it was starting to turn around. We had Wilder, Jennings, you know, Areola coming up, but there's only so many guys that's willing to face the tough, you know, the top competition. It's like everybody would rather, you know, fight bums or, you know, just hold out or wait 6 to 8 months until they shot with a Klitschko brother, and when they get that shot, you know, they disappoint and do not put any effort in trying to win.
Go over there and fold, man. They go over there and fold. You know what I'm saying?
Why do you think that is, though?
Well, because it's the same process that I just explained to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 30-0. I ain't fought nobody.
Yeah.
I done fought 30 professional heavyweight bouts, and I haven't fought one killer. I haven't fought one hardcore dude. I haven't fought one good fighter. And then I go over there and fight a world-class fighter. Because you got to give it to Klitschko and them. They came up, you know what I mean, making their bones.
Mm-hmm.
They done took their losses, you know what I'm saying, and now they win it. But a lot of these guys that go over there and face them haven't fought anybody. So when they get in the ring with Klitschko, at this point, this is the best fighter I ever fought.
Yeah.
When before, you know, sometimes you get in there with the champ. And he's nowhere near the best guy you ever fought, or he's just as good as the last guy, or the guy before that, or the guy before that. Mm-hmm. So they go over there with no real experience in getting hit and hitting back or fighting out of the, you know, country. They go over there with no experience whatsoever, man. And after a couple rounds, they just focus on getting that paycheck, man, and don't put on a good show at all. And you know, it's what it's there.
Yeah.
Then you got the same guys going back and fighting for the championship again. A year or two later, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just folded, basically. When you fought him the first time, then you're going back over there and you fold again. Nothing has changed. You got Shannon Briggs running around chasing this Klitschko boy. Come on, Shannon Briggs. You're a better actor than you'll ever be a fighter. We all know that you're not going to fight this guy or do anything with this guy in the ring. But you know what? With those type of tactics, you get the right promoter behind him, enough, you know, hoopla surrounding it, you might get another title shot with the guy. Who knows?
That's how.
Now it's not about your talent anymore, man. It's about, you know, your promoter, whoever got the most juice, and, you know, blase, man.
So, speaking of other heavyweights, what are your thoughts on, you know, Tyson Fury? You know, he's another gigantic heavyweight over there from the UK. What do you think about him? Do you think he's the goods, or you put him in a category with Wilder? Even though I think his resume is a little better than Wilder's.
I put Tyson Fury. I would say he's in the same category with Wilder as far as the boxer or fighter is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his resume is a little better, but he's not a fighter to me, man. He's not a real fighter to me. You know, taking nothing from him. First and foremost, let me say this. Every man who has enough heart to get into that ring in front of thousands of people, he's a fighter. Okay? I'm going to be clear on that. However, with the type of ranking that he has and the type of recognition that he has, he's not the type of fighter that can live up to, you know, that rep.
Yeah.
And he's not going to satisfy our expectations once he get in there with a Klitschko or Amir Mansour. You know, Steve Cunningham had him beat, man, but Steve ran out of gas. He gave. I watched that fight ringside. I was, you know, I could have threw a 100-pound rock into the ring. I was that close.
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury isn't a tough fighter. He can't take a punch, and you know, I think he's a bum, to be honest with you, man.
That's what
I would love to fight him.
That's the consensus on him and Wilder, that they can punch, you know, especially Wilder, but their chins are very suspect. We haven't seen Wilder, you know, hurt in his professional career. Not a lot, but we've seen, you know, Fury get dropped by, you know, what people consider a light hitting heavyweight in Steve Cunningham. And he's been hurt, you know, numerous times. So that's definitely the consensus between the big heavyweights, is that they can dish it out, but they can't take it. So, you know, they really gonna have to put up or shut up once they step in the ring with a guy like you or Klitschko or Ariel or whoever, or a guy that's gonna fight back and not be intimidated by the stature and just the hype around him. So, you know, it's definitely gonna be interesting, because they're gonna really have to, you know, step in the ring with guys like you eventually. You know, so.
Let me tell you this much. You go and look at any one of Klitschko's heavyweight title fights. This man, now I ain't taking nothing from the Klitschkos. I feel as though I could take him. I really do truly believe in my heart that I could take him. I don't think he's tough enough to get in there and war it and duke it out with me, because he ain't gonna run. He gonna fight me. He ain't gonna do like Steve did. Steve ran the whole fight. Klitschko would sit there and fight me. He would not be able to take my power. And I think that maybe 4th, 5th, 6th round, he's going to start thinking about all those millions that he has, and that it's really not worth dying or, you know, going into a coma or having any type of serious brain damage sitting in there with this crazy dude, Amir Mansour. I really don't think he would beat me when it came to will against will. But I tell you, a lot of these heavyweights, man, people were under the impression the bigger the better. The bigger the better. The bigger the better. In the last 10, 15 years, we've seen bigger. But what they started doing was the heavyweights started slowing down. Boring fights. After 2-3 rounds, they tired. They're throwing 3, 4, 10 punches the most per round. Look at the punch stats with me and Steve Cunningham. We threw over 1,000 punches. I threw like 535, 40 punches, something like that. And now you go and look at one of Klitschko's most busiest fights, and you see how many punches he threw. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm in world class shape. You know what I mean? A lot of people say, "Oh, you got tired. I didn't get tired. You're going to get tired anyway. I lost my composure. You understand what I'm saying? It's a huge difference. I didn't get tired to where I couldn't fight no more. I lost my composure. I lost my, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I lost my technique. I lost my mind, really.
So it's more of a mental thing than physical thing, you were saying, basically, right?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It was mental, not physical. And, you know, when these guys get in the ring with a dude like Amir Mansour, Steve Cunningham's a blown-up cruiserweight.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you, you know what I mean? He'll tell you, this is probably the hardest fight he ever in his life won. I'm quite sure. And he had to work. He threw over 500 and something punches as well. I threw probably I think they had me throwing like 30 or 40 more punches to him. But these big heavyweights, man, they not putting that type of punch count up.
All right,
they're not staying that busy, man. So, you know, anybody that get in that ring with me, man, they're going to have to break.
I got a couple more questions before I let you go. Another question is, how would you prepare for a Klitschko? Because we know you're a shorter heavyweight, and he's, I believe, 6'5", 6'6", and the biggest challenge, you know, going into a fight with Klitschko is getting on the inside of his jab, because he'll jab you and he'll hold you, you know, and he does have a great right hand and a left hook. But how would you counter that holding and that jab to, you know, be effective against him?
First of all, Klitschko, they like to fight you with their jab arm fully extended.
Yeah.
And they like to keep it out there in front of you. First and foremost, that's illegal. So I would hope that we establish prior to the fight that, listen, ref, that's illegal. Stop him from doing that. If he even attempts to do that, I'm going to hyperextend his arm. I'm going to break it. I'm going to beat it up. I guarantee you, his jab. His jab would be the last thing I would even be worried about. I know how to take a person's jab away from him.
Okay.
And you know, getting inside, I'm way faster than him on my feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Getting inside, you know, and him being 6'5" and me being 6'1 3/4, it's not that big of a difference. It is a reach and a height advantage, but my speed and with my hands and my speed with my feet, you know, it wouldn't be a impossible or too difficult task to get inside and land some good shots.
That's interesting. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing that fight, you know, because it's always going to be a question about Vladimir's chin. He's a great fighter, taking nothing away from him. I enjoy watching him, even though he's not the most fan-friendly guy to watch. But his chin has been, you know, broken 3 times, and, you know, he's shown that he's vulnerable to the chin. And so if you can get on the inside and land clean, then, you know, there's no telling what can happen. And, you know, he's a big guy, so he can be kind of look goofy at times and get crossed up with his footwork when he's, you know, being pressured. So I think a guy like you definitely have what it takes to beat him, because you're mentally strong and you're determined. You're not going over there to just get a check. You're going to be in tip-top condition. And like you said, you're going to improve off of the Steve Cunningham fight and have more than just a game A. I mean, a plan A, you're going to have a plan B and C. So I think that's a fight that, you know, could be, you know, entertaining if made.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it definitely could be made. I mean, I've earned my stripes. I mean, if you look at some of the guys he's fought in the past 3, 4, 5 years, I mean, hey, it wouldn't be no protest of him fighting a dude like Amir Mansour. If you think of back a few years, one of them was going to fight Tyson Fury when he was only 15-0.
Yeah.
But Tyson pulled out. You know, of course he wasn't ready. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
You know, I mean, like I said, man, the organizations have to really wisen up and put the excitement back in certain divisions. You know what I mean? And understand that they play a big part in putting the excitement in the divisions, because they can force us to fight each other with their ranking power.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, the organization is going to have to really step in one day and say, look, you know, we're not going to be bullied by no promoters. This is what it's going to be. We're going to put the excitement back in the heavyweight division. And then, too, you know, hey, if you consider yourself a top 10 fighter in the world and you're in the heavyweight division, let's all mix it up. Let's all get together and let's all mix it up and show the people like who really is the top dog.
I agree with that. Do you have a fight upcoming anytime soon, or is there any anything in the works for you as far as your return to the ring?
Right now, I'm training to fight on October the 18th. Okay. The opponent isn't official yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm training for an October the 18th showing. Hopefully it'll be either, you know, on HBO or NBC. And I was trying to fight Thomas Adamick, but he's made it clear that he don't want no parts of me.
Wow.
You know?
That would have been a great fight.
But, yeah. But, like, you know, like I said, man, listen, I'm one fighter. Listen, I'm not no internet gangster. I don't do that. I'm not no YouTube gangster, no social site gangster. If I say I'm willing to fight the guy, damn it, I'm willing to fight them, and my team will let me fight whoever I want to fight. You understand?
And that's great to hear. We need more fighters like you with that mentality and that warrior spirit. That, you know what, I'm gonna get mine. Whoever I got to go through, I'll do it. I don't mind.
Exactly. You know, like, there is some guys that I really wouldn't want to fight because, like, for instance, Brian Jennings. I like Brian Jennings. He's a very respectable dude. Me and him get along fine. Mm-hmm. He might call on me for sparring. I might call on him for sparring. You know, certain dudes that I may end up training with, you know, and I know I'm getting good work from, and they going to get good work from me, and I like that. You know, reality right there. Then, yeah, I don't really want to fight him right now because what is he going to do for us? Two neighborhood guys or two guys in the same area fighting each other when you got all these other guys in the top 10 throughout the world and throughout the country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody else fighting each other in the same city. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it really, me and Steve probably shouldn't have fought, but we gave the people a great fight, and I'm excited about that. Everybody was like, yo, I love it. That was a great fight. Y'all put the division back on the map. But one fight isn't going to put the division back on the map.
Yeah.
We're going to have consistent heavyweight fights like that.
Mm. Well,
so whoever it is, if they in the top 10, I will rock with them. You know what I'm saying? And I would love to. Because like I said, I don't like fighting nobody that ain't ranked. You know what I mean? Either hire me or right with. I don't want to fight no bums like Wilder and them keep doing, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't have the luxury of time to keep fighting trash men and firemen and, retired cops and stuff like that.
Definitely
I don't have
understand.
the time to do that. You know what I mean? I'm trying to get my thing now.
Yeah.
You know? So anybody out there in the top 10, whether it's United States or top 10 in the world, I will fight them.
So there it
my
is.
My people will allow me to fight them.
There it is, heavyweight division. Amir Hardcore, Mansour said, he's willing to fight anybody. So tell your promoter to call him and don't expect any difficulty. If the deal is right, he'll fight you. So heavyweight.
Exactly. It got to make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somebody called me to come to Spain for $10,000. I said it's going to cost more than $10,000 to get to Spain. You know?
Yeah.
But, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it got to make sense. But seriously, no trash talking or nothing like that. If you are in the top 10, whether it's the top 10 in America, top 10 in the United Kingdom, top 10 in the world, whatever, I would love to fight you. I would love to.
And there it is.
My people will let me fight you.
And there it is. Before we wrap it up, is there anything you would like to say to your fight fans out there that's rooting for you and interested in your return?
Well, of course, man. You know what I'm saying? Just big ups, man, to everybody in the tri-state area, Delaware Valley. You know what I'm saying? South Jersey, Penn's Grove, New Jersey, where I grew up at, man. Just, a lot of people know that I have a huge following in the tri-state area. You know what I'm saying? And I can't thank them enough, man, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to make the noise that I've made this far, man. And they stick with me through thick and thin, man. And they can't wait to see me back in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And I can't wait to see them and hear them ringside again. So, 10 times done sold out, you know what I mean, arenas.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? 10 times in a row, you know what I'm saying? So my people down here, I love them. They know I love them. Baltimore, Virginia, Maryland, D.C., Delaware, Philly, Jersey. They got my back, man, you know what I'm saying? And I never, ever have let them down yet, man. So, of course I thank them, man. And a lot of people in the UK as well. And surprisingly, a lot of people in Poland. I get a lot of fan mail. I'm serious. A lot of fan mail and stuff from people in Poland always hitting me up, sending fan mail. They really want to see me fight out of it.
Hey.
But I keep telling them, he don't want to see me fight. I think one of my biggest followers is in Poland, man. It's unbelievable. But Polish people, they real boxing fans. They probably the second largest boxing fan base in the world, other than the Latino community.
Hey, real fans, know where to seek out the real fighters, and you're definitely a real fighter. And we over here at Colossal Boxing Talk definitely support you. We're gonna spread the word about you. We're gonna spread this interview all over the internet, and hopefully get these heavyweights attention and get them to step up to the plate and give you a chance and really test themselves to see how good they really are. And that's what we're gonna do.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Thanks for the opportunity again. And maybe after your October 18th fight, we can catch up again and talk about your victory.
For sure, man. Just hit me up. You got my number now. Lock me in.
All right. Thank you again.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.